In this video, we're going to talk about the 7 things that you can do to upgrade your life in your 20s, especially if you're feeling lost. These are the things that helped me get through the pandemic as a nurse, as well as finally take a leap to quit my job. The first thing that you need to do is to learn how to think intentionally. A lot of us right now are very influenced by social media, by our friends and family. And with this, it's very difficult to learn how to listen to ourselves. Once you learn how to think intentionally by yourself, you are able to figure out what the next step of your life is going to be. When I was working as a nurse at the hospital, all of my colleagues are going in different directions. And I was asking myself, should I go back to master's? Should I travel nursing? Or should I keep my job here or move to a different emergency hospital? Because that's what everyone was doing. By doing this, I was influenced by so many people around me. So I had actually taken a step back and really figure out what is it that I wanted to do? How do I ignore questions of should I do this in my life and actually be able to think for myself? So you need to start asking questions like, what does a perfect day look like for you? Does that include studying or going back to school or even working a different job or working in the same job? Another thing is like, how do you want to make money? Do you want to keep making money the same way that you're doing now, or do you want to learn how to start a side business or to become your own boss? There are so many ways to go about this, but the most important thing is that you are thinking for yourself, not being influenced so much by the things or the people around you. So I'd recommend you start journaling so that you can help find the answers to your questions. The second thing that I try to do whenever I feel lost is coming back to my body. This is one of the most simple yet so effective ways to be in the present. What happens is that throughout the day, you're always in your head. You're always thinking about something else. You're either thinking about the past or you're always thinking about the future, but you're never actually present. So when I did a coaching program, one of the things that I learned is really being mindful, being present, and being able to come back to yourself. And one of the easiest ways to do that is anchoring to your breath. This technique is such a simple way to kind of calm yourself down in times of stress. As an emergency nurse, I was always constantly dealing with high acuity environment, which I love, but also that made me burn out. Every time that I was stressed at work, I kind of used my breathing to help me calm down and relax. I feel that this is one of the things that you always need to have in your back pocket, especially in times of stress. So just by doing this simple technique, I found myself to have a better mood at work and at home, and I stopped letting small things get to me, and I just went with the flow, because at the end of the day, I felt like everything's gonna be okay, and that's kind of what it helps you realize when you're present in your body, when you're mindful about the things that's happening in your life. The third thing that I feel like is helpful is really appreciating something bigger than yourself. I know that when you're feeling lost, it's kind of hard to do that because you're just kind of in your own little world, in your own little mind. You feel that the world is going against you, that things aren't working out for you, when in reality, there's so much more stuff that is happening around you. The simplest way to kind of appreciate something bigger than yourself is going outside, appreciating the world around you. So looking at the trees, or just walking, or observing the flowers, or anywhere else you are in the world. That's something that you can kind of do and then start thinking, isn't it cool that we're able to construct big buildings, or that the trees do their own thing? When you take yourself out of your head, you are able to appreciate other things going on around you, and that makes you a little bit better in terms of your journey, because then you can get out of your head. And along with that is that you can start being more grateful. There's actually research that the feeling of being grateful or gratefulness helps you have a better mood, increases your happiness. It's just better for your overall well-being. The fourth thing that I recommend that you do if you're feeling lost is finding your flow state. So flow state is a term popularized by positive psychologists Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi and Jean Nakamura. States that flow state describes a feeling where under the right conditions you become fully immersed in whatever you are doing. So having a flow state is not reserved for artists, painters, like those people that we think are so talented. For me, I stumbled upon this flow state when I learned about writing. I've never written before, but I've always had the desire to start my own blog, and finally during the pandemic I started doing that, and then I realized that I really like writing. It puts me in this mood where it's like, oh my god, I can do this forever. And I think that tells you a lot when it comes to like what should you be doing in your life. So after learning about this, I try to really put more time and energy into the activities that give me flow state. I would recommend finding these activities that you can do for hours and that you don't have to kind of show on social media, that even if social media didn't exist, you would still do them. That's your body signaling you that, hey, like you should do this more often. Those little things will give you some sort of signal, especially if you're feeling lost. So the fifth thing that you need to do to get a sense of direction of where you're going is is feeding your mind with healthy infobits. I cannot imagine a world where we're not using social media, whether that's videos, images, blog posts, listening to podcasts. Personally, I got very confused because I was seeing so many things. I was getting influenced. And I think that's part of the reason of why we become so lost, because we're jealous, we compare our lives to other people's, and there's just like so many bad things that happen when it comes to scrolling on social media. But I also think that you can make it work for you. This is more where you're more deliberate or more intentional about the stuff that you're consuming. So you can start curating your stuff. You can start curating podcasts that you listen to, the accounts that you follow on social media, and anything else that you read. So basically, if you want to improve your life, if you want to improve your finances, start curating the content that you're consuming. So only listen to podcasts that helps you have a better money mindset. You can replace your social media consumption with books or articles that actually stimulate your mind instead of making it, dumb. So for instance, right now, I'm trying to improve my fitness journey. So I'm watching a lot of videos on how people get toned. How do I change my diet? How do I change my lifestyle? That kind of stuff, so that when I do consume, I don't feel bad about it because I'm learning about it and I'm actually wanting to apply that in my life. So over the years, this is what I've done. I've kind of curated my content, whatever my interests at the time. It went from investing to starting a business to now creating content, to learning more about the creator economy, and it really has helped me kind of get to where I am now. The sixth thing that you need to do is to let your heart influence you. If you're watching this, I assume that you have no idea where your life is going. You're a little bit directionless, which, to be honest, I'm also kind of in right now. Sometimes you're not going to know exactly what you need to do, but I think that deep down you do know. You can listen to the little nudges, the little inner voice that you have in your head of what is the next thing that you're supposed to be doing, whether that's quitting your job, starting something new, or even doing nothing else. And really, if you're not sure what to do, I would stop thinking and I would start listening. I know it sounds very cliche, but I really believe that once you follow your heart, it just kind of takes you to the places that you actually want to go. I wanted to write online, and then I didn't know that I would become a freelance writer, and I didn't know it was the way that I was going to quit my job and be in this situation right now where I am traveling while I'm doing my creative stuff. Basically, I'm just kind of following my heart. I'm just following what I want. It may be confusing to the people who are following my journey, whether that's online or offline. Me, it just feels right. It just feels like I'm always following what my heart wants, which I feel like is kind of our purpose in this world, if that's even a thing. So I would recommend you finding some alone time, whether it's journaling about it or doing some meditation, or kind of asking yourself every day, what am I supposed to do? What do I want? What do I want? Until an answer comes up, something will come up sooner or later. And the seventh thing that I recommend you doing when it comes to feeling lost is that investing your time and energy into your superpower. I personally believe that your flow state, or whatever it is that you feel super passionate about, also tells you something about your superpower. So for instance, I think that when I wrote, I found my flow state there, and then over time when I developed and nurtured the skill of writing, people started telling me, hey, you're really good at writing. And for me, I can't objectively see my writing as good or bad because I write for other people. So when they tell me that the pieces that I'm writing are actually resonating with them, then to me that's a good indication that, you know what, maybe like I am good at this. So I decided to improve on that. I took a writing course, I joined a writing community. My whole online persona is around writing because that is something that is really important to me, and it seems that if I nurtured it well enough, the message is going to resonate with a lot of people, and so that I can help a lot more people. When you invest time and energy into your superpowers, whether that's filming, writing, making art, music, dancing, or anything else that you're passionate about, that's something that you can actually share to the world. It's a gift for you to share and for others to enjoy. It doesn't have to necessarily make you money right away, but I think over time you can make a career out of it if you choose to. When you start expressing yourself, your natural gifts, your superpowers in this world, soon enough people will want to see more of it. People will want to give you, whether that's money, love, kindness, because you choose to express it in your own way or in the way that feels natural to you. I really hope that these things get you out of red, and if you like this video, you might want to check out the 3 things that helped me transform my life, and I will see you in the next video.